Excellency Roger Nkodo Dang, President of the Pan-African Parliament, Right Honorable President of the Senate, Honorable Chairperson of the PAP Women's Caucus, Honorable Chairperson of the African Union Advisory Board on Corruption, Excellencies, Speakers of National Assemblies from Member States, Honorable Ministers, Country Representative of UN Women, Honorable Members of the Pan-African Parliament, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Permettez-moi de commencer en exprimant ma sincère gratitude aux organisateurs de cette 11e conférence sur les droits des femmes, mais aussi pour cette invitation à partager avec vous tous ma position sur le rôle très pertinent que les femmes parlementaires pourraient et devraient endosser face à cet inquiétant fléau. Accueillir le Parlement panafricain au Rwanda pour cette toute première fois est un honneur et un gage de votre confiance pour lequel nous vous remercions, tout en espérant que ces derniers jours passés parmi nous vous ont permis de développer de nouvelles amitiés et que vous considérez maintenant le Rwanda dans ce bel esprit de panafricanisme. En effet, cette conférence du Parlement panafricain est encourageante et vient à point nommé car elle nous permet d'examiner de nouveau la responsabilité des parlementaires de lutter contre la corruption via leur influence, la législation et le contrôle de l'action gouvernementale. Excellencies and honorable guests, corruption is the antithesis of sound leadership. It violates the foundations of ethics upon which good leadership is built. According to Professor Emeritus Dr. Petrus van Dijn, corruption is a decay in the decision-making process in which a decision-maker consents to deviate or demand deviation from the criterion which should rule his or her decision-making in exchange for a reward or for the promise or expectation of a reward. Corruption takes different forms, presents itself at all levels of society and across sectors, and in both developed as in developing countries. It has their consequences on the economy, among which are the fact that it could erode public coffers, forcing government to increase its debt burden. Indeed, according to a recent World Bank, corruption, if unchecked, could reduce economic growth by up to 0.5 to 1% per annum. Corruption also discourages investment. No one wants to invest their money where it's not safe. What this does then is to further deepen poverty, with the most affected being women, due to historical factors including lower education, fewer job opportunities, and unequal pay are more prone to suffering the negative consequences of corruption on the economy. Corruption hinders effective service delivery, especially in the areas of health, infrastructure, water and sanitation, education, and other social sectors, which mainly affect women and children. In a 2012 UNDP survey, it was found that 76% of the women interviewed had been prevented access to public goods and services because of corruption. And to make matters worse, because of the lure of glamour and short-term gains from corruption, some youth see no incentive to work hard and scrupulously. Ladies and gentlemen, several studies suggest that women are less corrupt, to echo what my sister said, and that companies with a higher number of women in decision-making, perform better in terms of resource management and maintaining a zero tolerance level for corruption. So if this is the case, It goes without saying that women's leadership plays a vital role in curbing corruption and securing our economies. In Rwanda today, the priority is to strengthen legal and institutional frameworks and mechanisms that reinforce accountability and ensure that the principles of equity and equality are consistently addressed in all areas of our public and private spheres. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, one of the objectives of this conference and the role you have assigned me is to advocate for women in African parliaments to be more proactive and become social agents of change in overseeing government policies, programs, and budgets allocated to institutions in charge of monitoring and reinforcing the fight against corruption in all its forms. As President Kagame once said, quote, "We know that corruption will not entirely be eroded from our society, but the measures we enforce will be so severe that you will think twice before engaging in corruption practice." This should be our goal in order to protect the poor and weak in society and salvage our economies. Indeed, organizing this Women's Conference in line with the African Union's theme, 2018 Year of Anti-Corruption, winning the fight against corruption, a sustainable path to Africa's transformation, holds you to an even higher standard as the institution in charge of overseeing government programs and expenditure in the interest of the nations and the people you serve. As I conclude my remarks, allow me to reiterate that together we must demonstrate an urgency and resolve to uproot this social evil that is corruption by building sound policies and systems that are grounded in a culture of integrity and informed by the principles of ethics and accountability. Together as women leaders, decision makers, and concerned citizens, we must take on the fight against corruption in our spaces without fear or favor, because our continent's growth and survival, our security, and indeed the future of our children depend upon it. Dear sisters, of course, together with our brothers, keep shedding light on this evil at continental and respective national levels. I thank you for your kind attention and have no doubt in my mind that your leadership on fighting corruption will be the game changer for our continent and our economies. Thank you.